You ever watch a new building go up and just wonder, where does it all actually begin? I mean, it's not with the first brick, and it's not with the first steel beam. Nope. It starts with a ton of critical decisions that happen way before a single shovel even touches the ground. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that hidden world.
So let me ask you, what do you think is the most important part of a brand new building? Is it the soaring glass facade, the massive steel skeleton, the brilliant architectural design? Well, you might be surprised to hear that the real answer is something you can't even see from the skyline.
The most critical, the absolute make-or-break part of any construction project is all the work you never ever see. It's the painstaking planning, the careful calculations. It's this huge effort that happens before anything even starts to rise up toward the sky. So let's dig in.
Here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start at the very beginning, before a site is even chosen. Then we'll dive into the 5 essential designs that make up the master plan. After that, we'll see how those plans get laid out on the actual ground and then get into the nitty-gritty of preparing the earth itself. And finally, we'll connect all the dots and see why all this invisible work is the true foundation of, well, everything.
Okay, so before any dirt is moved, before any concrete is poured, there is the plan. You see, the real foundation of any project isn't made of concrete. It's made of solid, careful planning. And that all starts with one thing: choosing the perfect piece of land.
Right. We're talking about site selection. And you've heard the phrase location, 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 right? Well, in this world, it's more like location, location, foundation. Because the spot you choose is going to affect the design, the cost, and the safety of the entire building. It's a huge deal.
First up, you've got to check off a few things on Mother Nature's list. You're looking for a spot with low rainfall to keep dampness away. You need firm ground, what's called a hard stratum, that's pretty close to the surface. Why? Because that means a safer and cheaper foundation. And ideally, the site should be just a little bit higher than everything around it for good drainage. I mean, nobody wants a building with wet feet, right?
And then, of course, you've got civilization's checklist. Your perfect spot has to have access to the basics: water, power, sewer lines. It's got to follow all the local rules about how high you can build and how much of the lot you can use. And obviously, you need easy access to roads and public services like police and fire stations. A building can't just exist in a vacuum.
So once the site is locked in, the master plan starts to come together. But here's the thing. It's not just one single blueprint. It's more like a symphony of 5 totally essential but different designs, and they all have to work together in perfect harmony.
First, you've got the architectural design. That's what makes the space actually work for human beings. Then you have the structural design, which is the skeleton that holds the whole thing up. You've got electrical for power, sanitary for clean water in and dirty water out, and mechanical for all the machinery like elevators and air conditioning. Each one is a whole specialty, and they all have to fit together like a perfect puzzle.
Okay, so you have this incredibly detailed set of plans. Now what? How do you get those drawings from a piece of paper or a computer screen onto the actual plot of land? This is where abstract ideas get translated onto the dirt, and it's a step that demands absolute, total precision.
And you better believe the stakes are high here. The source material says it perfectly. Errors in setting out will in most cases result in remedial works which will be expensive. In other words, a tiny mistake at this stage can snowball into massive, incredibly expensive problems down the line.
This whole process is called setting out, and it's exactly what it sounds like, the process of transferring the building plans from the drawings directly onto the ground. You can literally think of it like using strings and pegs to draw a life-sized blueprint on the earth itself. It is all about finding the exact position for every single thing.
But wait a minute. The ground isn't a flat piece of graph paper, right? It's uneven, it's messy. So how in the world do you make sure your corners are perfect 90-degree angles? You can't just pull out a little builder square. Well, the answer is a really elegant ancient math trick.
It's called the 3-4-5 method, and it's basically Pythagoras' theorem in action. You measure 4 units down one line and 3 units down the other. Then you just adjust that second line until the distance between their 2 endpoints is exactly 5 units. The moment it hits 5, bang, you've got a perfect right angle. Now sure, we have lasers and GPS today, but this is a foolproof, low-tech backup that works every single time. No batteries required. It's just pure, practical geometry.
All right, with the entire layout perfectly marked on the ground, it's finally time for the part everyone imagines first when they think of construction. It is time for the big dig.
But hold
Not so fast. The very first step isn't actually digging down, it's scraping the top layer off. Before any trenches are even started, the entire site gets cleared of all its surface material. So how much are we talking about? Usually the top 200 to 300 millimeters, which is about 8 to 12 inches. See, that topsoil is full of roots, vegetation, and organic matter, which makes it way too unstable to support the crushing weight of a building. It's gotta go. Okay, after that top layer is gone, the real digging starts. You've got bulk excavation, which is just digging down until you hit that solid subsoil. Then there's trench excavation for the foundation walls, and pit excavation, which is for digging deep holes for the individual footings that support the big columns. Each type of dig has a very specific structural job to do.
So we've covered choosing the site, creating the designs, laying it all out, and then digging the holes. So why does all this invisible work matter so much? Well, it all comes down to invisible strength.
You see, a skyscraper's strength doesn't really come from its height or the shiny materials you can see. Its real strength comes from the precision of every single step we just talked about. All that work done on and in the ground long before the first visible piece was ever put in place.
When you boil it all down, it's this. The foundation of a truly great building isn't the stone or the steel. It's the quality of the groundwork. Everything, and I mean everything, rests on the perfection of these first unseen steps.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. The next time you see a new building rising up into the skyline, are you going to be looking at the walls and the windows? Are you going to be thinking about the careful choices, the perfect right angles, and the deep groundwork that forms that powerful, invisible foundation beneath it all?